All right. Happy Sunday.
Yep, here we are. Share.
Are you looking good? Everything's in the right spot?
Do I have to write a post?
Nope. Just have to say share.
No.
Hey, Ryan.
It's not letting me share
I'll do it.
to
I'll do it.
more options.
I'll do it.
I think I got it.
Okay, perfect.
All right, who's on? You saying?
Ryan was on, or is on.
Hello? You know me, takes me a couple seconds to get the technical part of this down. Well, I have my assistant here, slash husband,
Yeah.
helping me with all the Facebook, Instagramming,
Face tuning,
YouTubing.
instant timing.
So yeah. So what show is this? Is this like 14, 15, 16?
I don't even remember at this point.
You don't know?
I couldn't even tell you at this point.
Wow. We've done quite a few.
We have.
And if you've missed any of them in the past, we're on YouTube, Making Food Fun channel. Is it my face that's on YouTube, or is it
Yes.
the cartoon?
Well,
face? It's the cartoon.
Your
face.
Bitmoji is
The
it?
Bitmoji face.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Chopping broccoli.
Like that?
Just like that. That's how it works.
Hey, Brenda.
Brenda's on.
Hey, Daryl.
Fantastic. We're gonna actually have a lot of fun today with this one because this is right up. This is a meat. This is a meat dish all the way because.
And you're nailing it because Ryan's question is, what are you making tonight? So.
And I'm nailing it because this is a meat dish because of the fact that it's a savory and sweet. It's fruit and herbs, and that's what I've always been a fan of. So. I really wanted to celebrate summer flavors. We did that the last episode a couple weeks ago. We started out with the whole summer flavor thing, and we wanted to continue today. And Georgia peaches is in peak season right now. So we're like peaches. And speaking of Georgia, pecans.
Pecans.
Pecans. Tomato.
Exactly.
Where was I? Yes, so pecans and some Georgia peaches. You can get peaches from California. They're starting to come in. They're a little underripe yet, I think, because California is usually just behind Georgia when it comes to ripeness.
But we got them a few days ago, so they've had time to kind of.
Well,
these ones are looking good.
These are from Georgia. These are
right.
East Coast Georgia peaches, and so. Delicious, nice and sweet. I've already kind of peeled them. So we're gonna go through. So we're gonna do two dishes. We got a peach glazed chicken that we're gonna do.
So good.
It's so good. And then we're also doing what we're calling the farmer's market potato salad. It's a warm potato salad, and kind of like it's different. It's different than any potato salad you probably have had. It's because it has pecans and honey and balsamic vinegar and basil. So it's really just savory and sweet and crunchy and got that warmth of the potato, and it's all very much a warm dish. But it's fun. It's a fun, really flavorful dish. So that, and it pairs really well with the peach glazed chicken, which has rosemary and onions. And also has a little bit of sweetness with some. I have a coconut palm sugar. So it's sugar from coconuts. It's a little looks a little bit like light brown sugar. You can use light brown sugar, but it has just a unique sweetness. It's not overly sweet. It's a mildly sweet with a little bit of that brown sugar kind of flavor to it, cross between that and like a pure cane sugar. So it's really good. If you weren't able to get your sugar, or you didn't want to buy something extra, I totally understand that. You can substitute like a light brown sugar if you have that in your pantry. We also have a nice local fresh honey that we're using today. Local honey is amazing because especially if you have allergies, it's great to get a local honey. And we are very fortunate. We have 2 neighbors on either side that have honeybees, and we can kind of like knock on the door and beg and say, "Can I have some honey?" Because it's great for allergies. Because honeybees gather pollen from the wildlife that's in and around your neighborhood, and the next neighborhood over. So the pollen that is being generated in this area that you might be allergic to is the pollen that is, hints of that is in the honey, and so when you consume that, you're actually developing an immune system for it. So it is a natural way to, if you have allergies, pollen allergies, to consume local honey if you can find it. So that's awesome. We're very fortunate there. What do we got? So we're going to start with, who else is on?
So Jen Neubauer's on.
Jen!
Patrick Ford is on.
I feel like Jen, I feel
Chef.
like we haven't seen you in a while. You've been like busy with your life or something, or just not, or Mark just hasn't told me that you're on.
Well, no, she was on the last time too. It's just she's doing them not in real time, like a lot of people do.
Like we've done before.
Yeah.
All right.
She also said that it looks like you've been to the gun show.
Because he's pythons.
Well, no. So then I said you need to call a vet because those pythons are sick.
Whatever. Thank you for the compliment. No, actually, I've just gotten. It's weight.
It's a tight shirt.
It's the COVID 28 pounds of weightness.
Ford is on.
Ford.
Carolyn Cooper's ready to go.
Carolyn Cooper, she's got all the ingredients. It's great.
I think she's got her sous chef Dave Boodle ready too. So.
Dave Boodle, the sous chef.
Oh, Kelly Cooper. Hey, Kelly.
Kelly. All right, so let's just get started. I got myself a little. We're drinking. What are we drinking today? We're drinking a little Sauv Blanc.
A little Sauv Blanc.
A little Sauv Blanc. So
put it right there.
Set that
yeah,
right
just
there.
right there. It's fine.
So we can share that.
Yeah.
So cheers. Let's have some fun. So today, like I said, we're going to be doing the peach glazed chicken.
I have to do my job. Carolyn, since you're cooking in real time, there's 2 things we're going to start with. The oven and the water.
Oh, right. See, sous chef?
Nailed it.
Sous chef,
Shermer Crow.
marketing director extraordinaire. All right, so we're putting our oven on, what did I say? 350?
350, I think, right?
350.
Did you say 350? Did you say higher, though?
425.
That's it.
425.
Carolyn, 425.
425 on the oven. We'll turn, because we're going to finish with the potatoes in there. And then we're going to boil some water. Yes, so I've got a little saucepan, and we're going to fill that with some water.
She goes, yes, I'm ready. Perfect.
Yay. We'll put a little salt in the water to season it. Not too much, because we're going to salt the potatoes afterwards. So you just need a little bit of salt in the water. We're going to get that on medium, just get that start to boil a little bit.
This has nothing to do with what's going on, but can I tell you that one of the pastas that we have, it's that tagliatelle that's like pre-nested, that we used. On the back of the instructions, it said to salt the water after it starts boiling. But I have never heard that. I always heard you salt it to make it boil because it's that whole reaction thing.
Well, no, it's not to make it boil. It increases the, and I might be getting this wrong, alkaline. It's changing the chemical of the water.
Okay.
So it changes the boiling temperature of the water. So when water boils at, whatever it boils at,
when it's bubbling.
When it's bubbling, it's boiling. Water always freezes at 32 and boils at 130.
130 or something?
Something, right?
Yeah.
140 something? I don't know.
Hey, Kurt.
Somebody can maybe tell me what water boils at. I should know this as a food person. But anyways, when you add
220.
Salt, 220.
Thanks, Brenda.
There you go. When you change
Sisters on it.
When you change the when you add salt to it, you actually it changes the chemical balance of the water.
Okay.
So it no longer boils at 220. Now it's going to boil at something a little higher. So
Oh.
that's why you
let it boil, then you add the salt, then you. Well, this
Well, it doesn't
particular
matter.
right.
It
But
really-
that's what I'm saying. That bag said it. That's why I thought it was weird. I never heard that.
Yeah, I've never heard that either.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
I don't think it's a thing.
We're not doing pasta tonight, so sorry. I didn't.
Maybe
mean
they
to
just
change.
wanted to be clever with their instructions, other than boil water, dump pasta.
Well, it is fancy. It's a very fancy pasta.
Fancy pasta. All right, so we're gonna get started here on our peach glazed chicken. So we have, well, let's run through the ingredients of the peach glazed chicken. We've got a pound. I have a little less than a pound, but that's okay. Of chicken breast or chicken thigh meat. It's deboned and deskinned. You can use chicken breast meat. It will cook a little quicker.
Hey, Joe.
Than thigh meat. But I like thigh meat because of the fact that it's just richer in flavor, and there's always a little extra fat on there, which you can trim off. But that fat is really nice because it renders down and just gives you lots of flavor. So I like thigh meat when cooking. Although breast meat is technically healthier, and you can use breast meat.
But also, if you're doing bone-in chicken thighs, you probably will need to cook it just a little bit longer. You said too,
And
right?
if you're leaving the bone in, you want to leave a bone in thigh, that's fine too. But you are going to cook this on quite a bit longer.
Your mom's on.
Hey, Mom. So we're going to have that. We got about a half cup of flour. We're going to season that flour with some salt and some pepper. And then we got some cooking oil that we're going to put in the pan while we heat that up. And
What are you setting your skillet at?
medium.
Medium. Okay.
I typically always use medium. A good quality pan is designed to cook on a medium-ish heat. If your pan does not hold heat like it should, you might want to cook a little bit higher, but because it's releasing heat faster than it should. But most of the time, medium is about right.
If you're using a non-stick skillet, would you do the same thing to keep it at medium?
A non-stick skillet. Yes, you keep the same temperature, about
Perfect.
medium.
Okay, cool. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. All right. So we just kind of blend in the salt and pepper into our flour, and then we're going to dredge and just kind of like coat nicely the chicken in some flour. Set that aside. And this is just going to give it a nice crispy texture to it.
I was gonna ask, but I didn't know if you'd be like, because Mark.
Because Mark, that's what it does.
That's what it does.
Duh. That's okay. You can ask questions.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. That's why we do this live. So you can ask some questions.
Hey, Julie Harshfield, how are you?
So, all right. So we got
Happy Sunday.
coating everything nicely in a little bit of flour, salt, and pepper.
Pepper.
Chicken bits and all that really nice.
Hey, Daniel.
Daniel Gonzalez.
Daniel Arietta.
Oh, Daniel Arietta.
How are you? How are you and the husband?
Faring well as best we can, I guess, I'm assuming. All right, so we've dredged that through some flour, and we just put a nice little, about 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. Olive oil cooks at a lower temperature, so you'll get a lot of smoke if it gets too hot. So when you see a recipe that says cooking oil, olive oil is not it. But there are some oils that you can use other than like a vegetable oil or your typical canola oil. If you want to use something a little healthier, a couple of different options are avocado oil, which I like using, or grapeseed oil. Those both can handle a little higher temperature than olive oil can, and yet you still have a really nice healthy oil. We're going to start, our pan is nice and hot, so we're just going to go ahead and put these in, starting with what would have been the skin side down.
Hey, Chrissy P. Also, sometimes too, don't you like depending on what kind of chicken dish you're making? Sometimes dredging it with the flour can then, after you've cooked the chicken, you can then go back and render it and sort of create like a sauce with that too, right? Because then you had the flour in the pan and like little residual bits of.
Yeah. So if you're cooking with flour like this, you'll get some brown bits and what have you, and then a little bit of that flour and stuff will still be in the pan. And then that flour will act as a thickener to any sauce that you're going to create.
Like some butter and white wine or lemon and stuff, yeah.
A beurre blanc or whatever if you're doing something along those lines. So yeah, it acts as a nice thing. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and let this nice and sizzle. We're going to do that for about 3 to 4 minutes each side of the chicken. While we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and prep some of our other ingredients, and we're going to keep an eye on our water here to see if it starts boiling. Once it starts boiling, we're going to throw it's about 1.5 pounds of potatoes, right? Is that what it said?
I believe so. Mm-hmm.
1.5 pounds of new potatoes that we're going to throw in the boiling water once the water starts boiling. So we'll just keep an eye on that for a minute. Meanwhile, we have 3 peaches that I've already cut in half and took the seeds out and peeled them. And then we're going to just chop these into nice coarse chop. If you haven't already peeled and cored your peaches like I have, we got plenty of time, so we'll start doing that now. All right. So you start doing peeling and coring while I start chopping, and we'll talk about other things.
I have a feeling that Carolyn's already done that, so.
Probably.
She's pretty on it when it comes to this kind of stuff. Unless there's something, an ingredient we forget at the end.
Because my nephew Joey pointed out that cooking with me goes really quickly.
Well, he did the Boston cream pie, but he didn't mise en place.
That
was the problem.
Mise en place is important.
So he's trying to measure in real time. Yeah. He learned that lesson.
Alright, so we're chopping up our peaches in a fairly good size, nice little chunk. You can go a little larger if you want to.
You may or may not see our house guests on live Facebook streaming at some point.
Yeah, so we are taking care of a couple of cats and a dog, while 2 very good friends are in transition in their life.
They stood on your side when we got married.
Peter got a new job. Congratulations to Peter, who I'm sure is not watching as they're busy packing their house and getting things ready.
Well, he drove back to New Hope because he has to work tomorrow.
Right. And so...
You did see Kaiju. I thought so. She dropped her bone. So that's kind of why I prefaced it, because she dropped her little bony.
What?
Your sister, they saw Kaiju because she was kind of over there. Yeah.
She was over here.
Yeah. You are at almost 3 minutes. Or 4 minutes.
4 minutes on...
The chicken.
Oh, good.
Isn't she pretty, Brenda? She's so pretty.
She is.
Not as pretty as Rocky, but...
Not as pretty as Rocky. We're going to give that a little bit more. Alright, so then we're going to chop up some rosemary.
Your favorite herb?
It is one of my favorite herbs. It's so just robust, and it just reminds me so much of Italy because it's everywhere in Italy.
Oh, she saw doggy butt.
So we're just going to run a knife through some fresh rosemary. I said about a tablespoon, did I not?
I believe so.
Oh no, I said a half a teaspoon. Well, we're going to do about a full teaspoon, or maybe even a little bit more, just because I love rosemary.
Brian loves it. Everybody saw Kaiju.
That's awesome.
She's very cute, and she's very sweet. She's a little homesick right now.
Yeah. She is a red healer, right?
Yes.
Beautiful dog. Alright, and then a half an onion. So with the onion, because we're actually using a half an onion in this dish and a half an onion in our next dish, we're going to be using the whole onion. Cut the onion through. So you got the stem on this side and the top of the onion on this side. So cut it through that way, halfway. And then I cut the top off, so I still have the stem part, which holds everything together. We're going to take the outer layer of the onion off. And as you can see, I still have the stem holding it all together. What's going to do there, we'll check our chicken. Look at that. Nice little toasty brown color.
Hey, Edward. Edward Torres.
Edward, hi.
How's Steve?
Yes,
Happy
that
Sunday.
is perfect. Nice and brown and crispy. We're going to put about 3 to 4 more minutes on that side. Anyway, so as I was saying about the onion, we're going to leave that on there. Because then you're going to slice through the onion.
You start on the diagonal, like you kind of come at it from the side, and then work your way, like you fan it. That's how I remember it in my head. The way you taught me, you fan it, yeah.
Onion is wrapped around this way, right? So you're going to come in and go around and follow the onion. Anyways, what you now have is, as you can see, hold it, you got all these cut through, right? So now when you cut the other way, you have small dice.
So I have to say, your mom said, I made your peach Anna cooking recipe for breakfast this morning.
The Anna cooking?
I think that's what she means, yeah.
Fantastic.
They're very good.
Alright, so I got my half a cut chopped onion there. We're going to let that continue to cook a little longer.
How's our
While
water?
that's cooking, we're going to go ahead and start chopping. Our water is boiling. So we're going to put our potatoes in the water. And we're going to cook those for about 10 minutes or so until they're kind of soft. Maybe not completely soft to mashed potato kind of soft.
Because we're going to finish them off.
When you put a fork in it, it should kind of give a slight firmness to it, but should fork pretty decently.
Like they're not quite done.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyways, we're going to dice up some celery, and we're going to keep a nice coarse dice on that. I like keeping the leaf of the celery in there because it has nice flavor and texture to, in this case, potato salad. And we're going to do the same thing with the onion. Again, we have our other half. We're going to peel the outside of that onion off. But we're going to cut it more coarsely this time. So I'm only going to run like maybe five slices through it. And then go a little wider on it so that I have a wider dice.
That way you can like grab it with a fork, right? That's
Yes.
in the end.
All right.
Carolyn, are we good? Are we?
All right. So my chicken is nice and brown and done. So we're going to pull that out. Now what you have in the pan is a lot of brown stuff stuck to the pan, unless you have a nonstick pan, nothing stuck, which is fine. But you want that stuff stuck to the bottom, because what we're going to do now is we're going to take our onions and we're going to throw that into the pan with the rosemary that we have. And then we're going to take about 2 tablespoons, right? Yeah, 2 tablespoons of cider vinegar. and add that in there. And the acid from that vinegar is going to deglaze the pan and take all the bits that are stuck to the bottom will no longer be stuck to the bottom. It's going to be part of the dish now. So you're going to have a little crispy flavor of that chicken, and there was that flour that we talked about earlier that was stuck to the bottom of the pan, which is why I generally will always cook with a standard pan versus a non-stick pan. And then we're going to add in our mustard. And we have 2 teaspoons of mustard, right? Yes. So 2 tablespoons of cider vinegar, 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, and then we're going to go ahead and throw in our chopped peaches and our 1/3 cup of our coconut palm sugar. And we're going to go ahead and grab a little wooden spoon.
From your trusty side station.
My trusty side station. And we're going to give that a little bit of a stir.
Cooper's all in a good place. That's very interesting. I can smell the mustard hit the heat and
Yeah, and the rosemary.
yeah, and the rosemary. Smells good. It is a subtle sugar. You don't really, I mean, not that you would smell sugar right away, but
Yeah. So we're gonna give that. We're gonna let that kind of cook down just a little bit, and then we're gonna add our chicken back into it, and we're gonna cover that up and let that simmer for another like 15, 20 minutes.
one of the good things about doing what that does is that letting the chicken rest for a few minutes, it sort of reconstitutes the juices back into the meat, and then any residual you add back, and that's just extra flavor, right? When you put it back in the pan.
Yeah, because now that's going to glaze the chicken,
Yeah.
which is hence the peach glazed chicken. So
Oh, sorry.
with the sugar and the peaches and stuff like that, cooking that down, and then when we put the chicken back in, the chicken's going to cook in that and glaze onto the chicken.
Julie asked a very interesting question, because you did mention it a little bit earlier, but you didn't say this. Does coconut palm sugar taste like coconut?
No, it does not have a coconut flavor. But obviously, if you're allergic to coconut, you're not going to want to use it.
And it's also not like super sweet, you said.
No, it's not super sweet. It's a mild sugar as far as sweetness, which makes it really nice. We're gonna wipe down our station a little bit.
Clean station.
Always keep a clean station.
If Ford's still watching, he'd be very proud.
All right. All right, so we've already chopped our onion and our celery for the potato salad, and that's looking really, really good.
It smells really good. Yeah, it's bubbling really nice.
Yeah, we're gonna turn that down to a simmer. Actually, we're gonna put it on a different burner, and just bring that down to a simmer. We're gonna let the peaches cook down just a little bit more, and then we're gonna go ahead and add our chicken back in.
So Carolyn can leave it on the same burner. She just needs to turn it down, right? It's just you're gonna move your pans over.
Yeah, because you just want a nice little simmer. You don't want it boiling,
So you got it.
because then the sugar will. If you boil it, you're gonna end up making like a hard caramel,
Like a syrup, like a caramel. Oh yeah.
and it'll crystallize. So yeah, we got a little bit more time on that.
Yeah, you got about 3 minutes on those.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So that's cut. We're gonna cut our basil, and we're gonna give it a little chiffonade is the term. Where basically we're giving long little stripes. So if you layer all the basil leaves on top of each other, and then give it a little roll like a burrito, and then long little slices.
Or our Key Westy friends, like a Cuban cigar.
Okay, yeah. And now you have long threads of basil, which is good. This is what we want. All right. That looks good. So we're gonna go ahead and add our chicken back in right now.
You smell the basil from here.
Oh yeah, because we cut into it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that we're gonna go ahead and put a lid on that and let that just simmer now. Okay.
Simmer down.
We'll finish our potato salad. And where are we at with the potatoes?
You still got like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
'cause,
they got some time.
You
Yet.
started about 6:52, so you got about a minute and a half. Can we smoke the basil? Well, I don't know. We're not doing Reefer Madness, Carolyn, so I don't really know.
Anyone ever want to smoke basil? I think
They found an incense for the show that right before the show they would walk it through the house, so that way because it did smell like.
sage is usually the.
It wasn't sage though, believe it or not. No, and
Sage and thyme together typically makes a great smudge stick and makes it smell a little hot.
little yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. It was an incense that I don't know if it was Danny or if it was.
Because we did that for a play that we did, theater play that we did in high school.
Oh really?
Yeah. I don't remember why we needed to.
Also, on a side note, take a sip of your wine. Carolyn, Dennis Highland posted a video of y'all's dance break in Reefer Madness, and I forgot how good it was. I mean, I remember the show was really good, but that dance break was amazing. It was the second year because it was you and Lee Pujado and Kyla.
We're going to move this to this side so people can just see better.
Yeah.
Alright, so now, while that's cooking, the potatoes are continuing to cook a little bit. We're going to cook down the sauce that's going to go on the smashed potato. Our oven's ready.
Woohoo! We did not pre-prep the baking sheet, but that's okay because it's right in front of you, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, yes. I'll need a baking sheet.
Right? Okay, I didn't either.
What?
Carolyn goes, I don't remember what it was. Paul always said, scented it. Like, house is ready to open, it's been scented. Yeah, go back and look on his Facebook page. I think he posted it, well, I saw it last night, so. But it was really good.
For what?
The dance break from Reefer Madness.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. The whole show was great, but.
I didn't get to see that show.
That was before you started going down there.
What is it? What year was that?
That was, we did it in 2008 and then reprised it in 2009 for a 2-week run.
And I didn't come down until 2010.
Exactly. So that was the year we did, I think that was the year we did Full Monty because I came down to do that show.
And
yeah.
I didn't go to that show.
You saw Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Twice.
Twice.
He said,
I
yeah.
did go see that show twice.
So I'm still a gray spiky-haired actor in your...
Because there were so many attractive in that show. I can't remember what his name was.
Oh, he held a cologne bottle at one point, I think.
I don't know. Oh well.
He could have been the one.
He could have been the one. Maybe he was. Maybe he is. Maybe it was you.
Maybe.
What were we doing? Oh, let's see. You got me all distracted. We're going to turn our pan on medium heat. And we're going to throw about 2 tablespoons of butter into the pan.
Booter.
Paula Dean.
Booter and all. You are about, I don't know if you just swiped them, but you're at 7:04, so you're at 12 minutes on those potatoes.
Yeah, so I think we're good. So we're going to take the potatoes and we're going to drain the water off.
Do you want a strainer?
No, I got the lid.
Okay.
So we got our potatoes, and we're going to do a good, generous portion of salt on them, and toss them up and kind of give them a little salty coating. Because we're making like a what we call a salted potato. But also what's going to do with that is it's going to flavor it really good, and it's going to cause a nice crispness on the outside. So we're baking them now at 425 for another like 10 minutes.
Well, and Ina Garden will always say too, it's always good to, I mean, you can't be generous enough with salt, especially when you're roasting a veggie. Like,
Well, because now a lot of that salt still is in the pan. So
right.
even though no matter how generous I was, there's still a lot of salt in the pan. We're going to, our butter is melted, and before it starts browning, we're going to go ahead and throw onions and celery into that pan. And kind of soften those up a little bit. Because unlike a lot of, like a cold potato salad, where you want maybe a finer diced onion and a finer diced celery, because you know you want the potato to be the star of the show.
Or if you're doing a pasta salad,
which you still do, but here because it's warm, we actually want the onion and the celery a little on the softer side, and chunkier, like you said earlier. Like
yeah. Grab a fork,
and grab a piece of potato and some onion and the celery.
Well, and I think the name of what you're doing speaks for itself too, because it's a farmer's market. You know, you want that hardiness. You want those bigger bits. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So onions, celery. Our potatoes are roasting in the oven. This is simmering quite nicely. I'm going to turn that down even further. And then we're going to...
Carolyn, just so if you did hear that, so Brian turned it really, really low now on the chicken, just so, yeah.
I just want to keep it really simmer, depending on your stove. My stove, just because it's a gas stove, it's very sensitive, so you just want a nice little simmer, not a boil. Simmer.
How is it? Not a boil. Simmer.
Yeah,
Okay.
like that.
No.
All right. So we're gonna get these not quite translucent like you would for like a stuffing at Thanksgiving, or for like a soup. If you're gonna do a soup, you want to cook them until the onions are almost like translucent,
right?
Clear, sort of. Not clear, but
for your mirepoix.
We just want them softened a little bit. So we're just gonna cook those a little bit longer.
Does anybody have any questions or funny anecdotes or? I don't remember the peach recipe. You usually go for the lemon because I don't remember the peach.
What are you talking about?
For the Dutch pancakes.
Oh, but I usually do like a lemon souffle. Yeah.
Right.
You can do apples, peaches. You can do all sorts of different things with that Dutch pancake.
Well, when you do the peach, how do you do it? Do you make like this, like a glaze, like a peach, or just?
Well, so that is a little bit different. And so like I'll put apples and cinnamon and sugar, or peaches and some cinnamon
honey and sugar or something.
Yep, in the bottom of the pan, and then pour the custard over top and throw it in the oven so that it bakes up, and then you flip it upside down when it comes out instead of with the lemon souffle.
You don't have to.
You pull it out and you leave it like a bowl.
Yeah.
And you squeeze some lemon juice and powdered sugar over, right? With that, you're actually going to have, it's almost like like a pineapple.
I was gonna say it's like an upside down cake. Yeah.
We're talking about Dutch pancakes. Anyways, so you put the apples or whatever fruit you want on the bottom with some cinnamon and sugar, and then you pour the custard over it, and it bakes up. And then when you flip it over, you just have this like with the pancake, the baked custardy pancake with the.
So we have a few comments now. So Brenda goes, "How come your handle doesn't get hot?" It does. Brian just doesn't pay attention to it. It doesn't affect him.
No, it actually
But
is
for
not hot
you,
at all.
They can get pretty warm. Not for you.
No, it's not warm at all. It really isn't.
Okay.
It's just the way it was designed. You'll notice that there's only 2 pieces of metal coming off the pan itself, and then it goes into a solid handle, and not just a solid handle off the pan. So it's releasing a lot of heat before it gets to this part. It's also, the handle is pure aluminum, which does not hold heat. Where the pan itself is aluminum with a layer of copper and anodized aluminum on the inside, which holds more heat. I'm sorry, the handle is stainless steel, not aluminum.
Yeah.
Stainless steel does not hold heat. The core, the outer shell is stainless steel, and then the core has aluminum and copper in it. So that's what's holding the heat, not the stainless steel. Stainless steel does not hold heat.
So Jen Neubauer says, should the water ever be as salty as the director? I don't think you can make it salty enough, sweetie. Your mom said she put cinnamon too in the peach.
Yep.
Everybody saw the doggy, and then the brand Brenda of the pans. These are new. These are Cuisinart, right? We went with Cuisinart with these pans.
No, these yes, these are Cuisinart. This is a Cuisinart pan.
Yeah, that's your all clad over there, right there. That one's all
This
clad.
is
isn't it?
Cuisinart as well.
Oh, it is. Okay, these are the new ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I put the honey in there, and now I'm adding in balsamic vinegar and some apple cider vinegar. Or if you didn't want to have it so vinegary, you can just do apple cider. But this time of year, finding apple cider is it's a little harder to do. All right, so.
Okay, so recap for Carolyn, because I feel like we talked over that. Sorry.
So yes, so
You added
the onions, the celery, the butter. We softened that up a little bit in the butter. Then we added the honey and the balsamic vinegar and the cider vinegar.
Okay.
And then we're going to add in the nuts here real quick.
Julie wants to see the kitty cats, but
They're hiding. Sorry.
well, no, they.
We'll post some pictures of them, but they tend to hide a little bit because it's a new house for them. And
They've finally taken to us. They've been here for a couple weeks.
yes, they've been coming out and stuff.
Yes.
But right now with us moving around a lot and stuff.
Yes, they're in their little corners.
Little whatever.
Yeah.
So with the honey and the balsamic vinegar and the regular vinegar, the cider vinegar in there, we're going to let that kind of cook down just a little bit. We're going to lower the temperature again. And then we're going to add the basil last minute. A little salt and pepper to season. How are we doing on the potatoes?
In about 3 or 4 more minutes.
3 or 4 more minutes?
Yep.
All right. We'll get rid of this because all I need now. Oh no, we'll just keep this for a second. All right, we're going to take the potatoes out. We're going to smash them, but leave them whole but smashed. I'll show you in a second.
The nuts are in, yes. Carolyn.
All ingredients should be in. A little bit of salt and pepper, minus the basil. I don't want to cook the basil down too much and lose all the flavor of the basil, so we're going to put that in last minute, toss it, so that we have that fresh, really basil kind of herb flavor with the sugar and the balsamic vinegar.
Your mom said, it smells really good.
Oh, this is such a delicious dish. And if you are just watching, and you plan on making it later on, or even if you were just watching for the fun of just watching us because we're fun to watch, you're gonna want to make this dish later. It's an amazing.
It's very tasty.
It really is. All right, I think we're about there.
Yeah, you got about a minute on the potatoes?
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is kind of thickened up a little bit. It's not too soupy.
Hey, Gustavo Sandoval, how are you?
The honey has kind of thickened up the vinegar, and the vinegar's cooked down a little bit enough to make it a little glazy, which is kind of what we want. So we're going to go ahead and add in the basil. Actually, if you want to hand me a white bowl. All right, we're going to take our potatoes out. It's been about 10 minutes.
Oh, you put the chicken in that one bowl to rest. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I was like, I pulled that bowl. There you go.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
So we got our potatoes.
You can hear the crispiness of the outside.
Nice. We're gonna grab a little coffee cup and just give them a smash and put them into our bowl.
Do you want a stainless steel bowl to mix them, or do you? Oh, okay.
No,
That's okay.
we'll mix it with this.
Okay. Coffee cup or like a bowl is fine too to smash them with. Anything that can.
You can actually probably just use the side of your knife to give them a smash. Oh, yes, but they're hot.
Maybe don't do that.
But don't do that because it's hot.
We'll stop doing it if you're.
Anyway, so now I've got like a full potato that's just been kind of smashed down, but it kind of breaks apart in pieces, which is fine. That's what we want. So that's our way of like, normally when you make a potato salad, you boil them, generally they're peeled, and then you let them cool, and then you chop them in, or cube them in, into cubes, or if you're like my grandmother, and I think my mother had one as well, it's a handheld little piece of metal that has like little wires this way and this way, and you just push the potato through it.
And it just dices
created
it.
Like dices.
Yeah.
So this is just a nice, easy way to do that. Like I said, as you can see, it kind of breaks up a little bit, but that's fine. We're going to go ahead and add all that into there.
Just more of like a texture thing that you're creating.
Yeah. You want like a nice chunk of potato in your mouth with the onion and the celery and the pecan and the balsamic vinegar and the cider vinegar. All right. So once we got that, we're going to go ahead and just top our ingredients that were sauteed on top. And we're going to give that a little toss after we turn off our stove.
Oh, in our oven.
What?
In our oven.
Oh, and we'll turn off our oven? Yeah, absolutely. All right. So now, there's our potato salad. Our little farmer's market warm potato salad. Delicious. You can smell just like that basil.
You can still smell the basil, yeah.
You can smell like the sweetness from the sugar. It's awesome. All right, so we're gonna dish this up.
Do you want to hold the bowl up at the potato so people can? Yeah.
Yeah. So we got the potato salad. There's our warm farmer's market potato salad. And then here's our peach glazed chicken. So we're gonna take a piece of that chicken. Nice. 2 pieces. We're gonna grab.
Hey, Guillermo.
We want that delicious sauce that's been cooking down.
Julie, we did a test run earlier this week. It's so good. You have to make this dish. It's amazing. It's so summery.
Yeah, look at that. Our potato salad. You can also serve like a little mixed green salad with that.
Yeah, we had a little mixed green on the
But there it is. Chicken, peach glaze, warm farmer's market potato salad. Enjoy. It's been so much fun.
Yeah, so full disclosure, we have not really discussed what we're doing next Sunday. We're going to keep the summer theme going, I think, though, right?
We're going to keep the summer theme going, and I think we're going to keep the every other Sunday thing going.
Okay, great.
So not next Sunday, because we're also going to be helping our friends do some moving.
Right.
Which we're so excited for them. Sad for us because they're moving further away from us.
Hey, Mara.
So we're going to be helping them move next weekend. So we're going to go the next weekend after that. We'll come back and I'll let you know what we're going to cook, but it will be something summer and fun.
Yay.
All right?
All right. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.